One. Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sipniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know that this is not financial advice. I'm only here to entertain you, but I will say this: try to only buy on those red candles. Tonight in the Queen's Court, we have the gents from Coyote Coin. We have a couple of the devs. We have Chris, Mark, and Batman have joined us. We might have some others flocking in because there's a lot of devs over there at Coyote Coin. Now, this is the same people that I had on a few months ago. We introduced their token to you. We heard everything that they had to say. We were anxiously awaiting their launch, and their launch got botched a little bit. A little bit of problem there with the launch. But you know what? They did the right thing. Instead of just rugging the project and the investors getting hurt, they stepped up and they basically replaced that liquidity out of the developer wallet so that none of the investors were harmed. And we are anxiously awaiting the launch of what Coyote Coin is now, which is hashtag Howl. That's your new ticker symbol, right? HOWL.
Yep.
That's correct.
Okay. So when launch?
Good question.
And is it a fair launch?
So I can answer that. Last time we talked, I wasn't quite sure one way or the other because of how we did the pre-sale already and that everybody kept their funds in there. We're going to airdrop it. However, this time we have something set in to where we can lock down all public trading until we have a specific date and time, and then we'll open it up after the airdrop's done. So there won't be any more of that. We're airdropping and random people are buying in public. It's going to be airdrop, and then we'll say we're going live this day time, and then we'll flip it on, and then it'll go. So that part will be fair. The pre-sale tokens will be airdropped.
I think that was kind of the reason it was done the way we did it originally was to try to do it when, there was some mix up. But I think the whole idea behind it was trying to limit the amount of people that would be looking at it and buying it while we were trying to airdrop it. Isn't that right, Matt?
Yeah, that's correct. We were trying to do it kind of in the middle of the night, so like they wouldn't see it, and then the next morning we would say, "Hey, we're going live," and then people would buy.
But we didn't have that. We didn't have that function prior, so that was something that's new to this launch. So, like Matt said.
Okay, so you're going to do a fair launch. You're going to airdrop the tokens. How about doing something where a lot of people are doing this now, where instead of being fearful of bot trading at the very beginning, they hit up the smart contract for a limited time with a 99% sell tax?
So I won't give too many details for just to make sure that any bot coders out there know how to get around it. But we do have bot measures in place for when we launch, and we're pretty confident in what we've done. But I don't want to share any specifics there.
So we don't have an exact date as to when the launch is going to happen?
That's a Chris question.
Oh, man. Well, I would say where we're at right now, I mean, and I don't know how many people who watch this will know or are watching now will know exactly everything that happened. I'm guessing most of them will. But, we had the issues that we had with the first launch. Then, Certic, when they heard about what happened, they fast-tracked us. I think it may be the fastest Certic audit in history. I've never heard of such a thing. They started the day or the day after we gave them the contract, they started the audit process, and it was to be completed. The first phase one with the initial report was to be completed in just 4 days. And that was what's today? It was the 6th. So they completed the report on the 6th.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, so we got it back yesterday with the report. It was good. The report looked good. There was nothing critical. From what I could tell, the only things that were really on there were things like things that they wanted to see it like kind of the Certic way. You know what I mean? Decent, more, less centralized, making sure that wallets are multi-sig. A lot of the things that we were already going to do anyway. So Bullish is working on those changes. I think that he's got them all completed now, and we're trying to figure out how they want us to do it before they do the second look. And this all goes back to the original plan, which was the focus. The focus became safety after the first time, right? Like it was like nothing can go wrong, nothing. And if anybody has any idea what it was like to live through that experience on our side of it, right? Like, it was bad for everybody because it scared everybody, but it really scared us. So the new focus became safety to the extreme. And the plan is an audit, and then see what suggested edits they give, make those changes, publish it so that it's uneditable, right? No errors can take place, no changes can be made. And then Certic does the second look. So
Did Certic audit your first smart contract?
no,
Who
but
audited your first smart contract?
they're edit they, this they have audited this one, like, since we rewrote.
Who audited your first smart contract?
Not really. I mean,
Nobody did.
it was in
We did internal testing to make sure that the tokenomics worked, but we didn't have an audit before the first launch.
Oh, okay.
So that was
Have
unfortunate.
you okay, so do you still have the same smart contract that you were using last time?
We did, but we didn't use it. It got completely rewritten.
Okay.
In order to
When will you be releasing the smart contract for people to evaluate?
Matt, you might be best to answer
I
that.
believe as soon as Certic's second phase audit is completed and everything, they give us the green light and we'll release the contract.
Now, do you
Yeah.
plan to do that at least a few days before launch?
Yeah, I believe so. We should have that. I don't know how quickly they get back on their phase 2. I wouldn't imagine it would be too long. But as soon as that's done, we'll put up the contract. I would imagine we'd have it up a couple of days in advance at least, because we still have some final tweaking we want to do on our marketing side and all that to prepare for the launch date.
And to
Because
answer,
you know that people are going to be going over it with a fine-tooth comb now. There is a lot of disappointing launches this past week in the crypto world. I'm sure you know HospoWise was a big one, but there's a lot of people that want to start definitely going over those smart contracts before they're actually launched to see if there's any way that they can help these developers that maybe are not familiar with smart contract. I know that which one of you is the coder?
So I'm a developer. I'm not a blockchain developer. We actually
Who
brought
wrote the
on a
smart
new.
contract?
That would be bullish. So we brought on a new team member. He's helped out with a lot of other projects in the past, and he's came to us as the developer that other developers call when they need help. And he's proven to be a pretty accurate assessment.
yeah,
He completely rewrote the whole thing, sent his code over to Certic. They said it came back extremely clean. They had a couple like final like little tweaks that they wanted to see done a little bit more their way. He got those updates done. As far as I know, he got them done today and sent it back over to Certic. So we're waiting on their phase 2. So he's like been in some really big projects.
So is he part of your team officially?
Yes,
Is he a
that's
developer?
correct.
no,
Yep.
he's a full-fledged member of the team.
Yep, we've added him to our website, our white paper. He's part
What's
of the
his
team
title
now.
there?
Lead blockchain developer.
Right.
Okay.
And
So not a third-party coder, which we've seen a
Correct.
lot of this past week.
right.
Yeah, no, he's part
None
of
of
our
that.
team.
This
He's
is
part of
somebody
And
in-house
also,
that in case there's anything wrong with that smart contract, liquidity gets drained, we know who to say, "Hey, excuse me, what's the guy's name again? Lucky?
Bullish.
Bullish?
Yes.
Bullish, it was you, right?
Yep,
That's
and he's the only one that's been
okay.
touching it. And as far as I can see, if somebody is able to pull off something like that after Certic gives the green light, then that would be the hacker of all hackers. I don't even know if that'd be possible.
I mean, crazier things have happened, let me tell you.
yeah.
I don't know if some crazy stuff went down this week, so hopefully you're right. Let me knock on wood. 'Cause I'm a little
Yeah, same here.
superstitious like that. Okay, now that we got through all of that, sounds like you guys have battened down the hatches this time. Sounds like the investors are gonna be protected. Still not sure about when the launch is gonna happen, but they do have that Certic audit, which, as we know, is the gold standard, and really everybody should be getting the Certic audit. It's just there's a reason why it's the gold standard, even though it's expensive. It's like $30,000 to get a Certic audit. It's worth it because then you wind up saving however much liquidity that's in there that could potentially be drained when you do deploy the smart contract and do the launch. Okay, that aside, what What is Coyote Coin? What is your utility? How are you gonna start generating some money out of here? Because a token is a token. It's only a meme token or a community token unless you're making money. How you plan to make money?
Yeah, and I've said this before. I may have said it last time that to me, anyway, any cryptocurrency without without a revenue generating utilities kind of a Ponzi scheme in a way, because people early in get paid with people who come in late's money, and then at the end they're the ones holding the bag and they lose. So our intention was never to have a token without utility. But so I can answer a couple things. One is the launch date thing. We never really answered that. So the process is where we are right now. We give the code back to them. This will give it a closer indication of when the launch is, because I never really answered the question, and then I'm going to go to the rest of it. Now, once we give it back to them, the way I understand it, the second phase of the audit will take 1 to 2 days, 24 to 48 hours. So, and another reason why a lot of people don't do Certic audits is because they typically take weeks or months to line it up, because they're in high demand, and so them coming to our aid like they did in such a short time, I'm forever going to give them credit and seeing them as heroes for coming in like they did and doing it under such a time crunch. And I think they kind of took it easy, honestly, like for what they could have charged to do it so fast. I don't think they for any price would normally do it that fast. So a big thanks to them. And then let's see. Oh, the utility side. So I've gone over this a little bit, and I try not to get too deep into it, because we don't want other people, other projects because there's a lot of coins, and a lot of coins that don't have a good utility. So it would be, we don't want somebody to sneak up and try to beat us to the punch. But I always use the same analogy when I talk about the utility side. So the plan is the launch, and then we've got some other stuff lined up that's utility like. We have NFTs, which is not the utility, but it's a cool aspect of what we've got going on. And then we've got exchanges. A lot of exchanges planned that we're working on. The long-term utility is, if you think about like Steve Jobs. Did I talk about this last time or no?
Yes.
Okay, it's basically the same thing as before. I'll make it the short version. Steve Jobs, music industry, people were downloading music for free. The whole industry was in turmoil because the record labels and the artists weren't getting paid. People weren't buying, back then they bought CDs. Now they, of course that's not a thing anymore, but it was then. But people could download the music for free, but they got viruses and it was complicated and a pain in the neck. So Steve Jobs came in at Apple, and after they booted him, he came back. They asked him back when they started to suffer. And when he came back, they had 125 different projects. So he said, scrap all that shit. We're going to focus on 3 things. And it was iTunes, iPad, and iPod. And they basically revolutionized the music industry at the time because they made it simple and they made it inexpensive. You could download any song you wanted for 99 cents. And so it wasn't expensive, and it was easy, and you didn't have to worry about viruses or breaking the law. And that was the new thing. They completely changed the industry. Now, of course, you've got streaming and all these other things happening, but it made Apple huge. That's why they became what they became and why they are what they are today. They still sort of ride on the coattail of that success. So that's kind of the plan for the utility for us as far as long-term revenue generation is a very similar thing. Excuse me. But for the crypto space, because you've got all these people who they struggle, right? Like anybody that's not super familiar with how to obtain cryptocurrency that's not already on a major exchange like Binance or Kraken or something like that. It's hard, right? Like you gotta have a trust wallet. Well, then the credit card thing doesn't work in there, because so most people like what we ended up doing when we've done this in the past is crypto.com account, buy BNB. And then you've got to whitelist an address to your trust wallet, and then it takes 24 hours, and then you send the money to the trust wallet, and then you send the BNB say to the trust wallet, and then you got to convert it.
Excuse me, just so we're anybody that's in the chat, this is getting to what the heart of the utility is. This is what Coyote Coin is going to be known for. They're driving for. So this is the big thing here. Okay, continue. Thank you.
Thank you for clearing it up too. So you're going through all this process, and then you get there, and it's like you got to convert it to smart chain. You got regular BNB, you got to convert it to smart chain, and then you have to make sure your wallet's connected right, the ETH chain or the Binance chain, and then you got to go into Pancake Swap and D apps, like all this stuff, and it's normal people can't figure this stuff out, and a lot of really smart people can't figure it out. Even with instruction. Um, like I know people who are extremely successful in business, super intelligent, like aerospace engineers, for example, or somebody like that. Some of the smartest people I know, and then when it comes time to try to do something like this, it's like, dude, it's too much trouble. They could eventually figure it out, but they don't. It's not worth it, so they just move on. And I think that's a barrier to the space, because you've got all these tokens that are on Binance and Kraken, and that's good. But with those projects, you might see 2x, 3x, like 300% return. That sounds great. But by the time something gets listed on Binance, you've missed that. Like when they had that 2,000,000% increase, price increase, you missed it, because that all happened before it got listed on a major exchange. So what our utility is to take all of those processes using artificial intelligence, working behind the scenes to basically do all that stuff, so that the person that's using the interface, all they have to do is input a few details and it's over. They input a few things in a simple dashboard, and at the end they have what they were trying to buy in the first place, and they don't have to do all that.
So you're envisioning whether it's an application, or is it going to be something that's for phones, or just for right now on desktop?
I would want to make it available for phones and for desktops. Matt, you might speak somewhat to that.
But before we get into there, so this is what they're going to do, guys. They're going to make it super sonic easy. You know how confusing it is to do. You get on Trust Wallet, you have to do all this stuff, or you have to go over to MetaMask to get an Ethereum token. You're not going to have to do that. Like, this is going to be so simple. I could tell my dad, hey, guess what, Dad? This new token is launching. Go over to your Coyote Coin wallet and get this. And it's going to be so simple that even he's going to be able to do it, because my dad's not good with that kind of stuff. I have to walk him through it. It's going to be so simplistic. Even people that are baffled by technology, it's going to be that easy. Even they can get into it. That's what we need in cryptocurrency. This is how cryptocurrency is going to be adopted by the masses. Ease of use. It's
That's
all about the ease of use. Once we get that ease of use, it's going to be a game changer. And these guys could be the first to get there.
And it's not just for us, all right? It's not just so people can buy ours, so they can buy anything. And it's basically that whole thing, that whole Steve Jobs scenario. Take something that's complicated and make it simple, make it easy, make it super cheap. And the idea behind it, the whole thing for us from the start was to make cryptocurrency more approachable and sort of humanize it and educate people, because there's a lot of people that want to be into it, but they don't know how, they don't understand it. And honestly, it's kind of a dangerous space. So this would be something that would allow, like you said, it would allow the access to the masses, not just to these chosen coins that, no offense to like CZ or any of those guys, that they have their thing and it's great. And I love them. Binance is awesome. All those exchanges are awesome, but this would give people access to all those things that aren't already there. So it's kind of open the floodgates to cryptocurrency. So everybody that wants to get involved can do it.
That sounds wonderful. I think that sounds really, really good. Now, I did cut somebody off earlier. Who was that? I think, Chris, you were going to pass the football to somebody, and then I intercepted.
Is just kick it over to Matt. I think I was pushing it to him, talking about the
Okay.
different the
Sorry,
interface.
Matt. I robbed you.
No, that's okay. I think he was trying to get out of the limelight there for a second. Yeah, no, I was just going to say that, everything that we're going to build out will be desktop, mobile friendly. We're in over 87 countries right now. We're worldwide, just in visits to our website and from our socials. So not everybody has a desktop computer, and I think making sure that it works on mobile and limited bandwidth is extremely important.
Okay, that's good to know. As of right now, how many people participated in the pre-launch?
So we filled up our pre-launch with, I believe the number was 414 wallets. So I think on average, if you do the math, it was an average $2,000 a person, which is 0.08% of total share. The max bag is 0.89% of the total supply. So less than 1% for anybody who has a max bag.
Now, you guys do have an interesting thing called, I'm so sorry, I cut you off
No,
again.
you're
I'm
good. You're good.
notorious for that. You should know I'm the
My brain
queen and I
trails
get to
off.
do that kind of stuff if I want, but please continue.
No, I was just hoping that answered your question. My brain trailed off for a second and I was looping back around, but I think I answered what you were asking.
Yes, you did. It's going to be both on desktop and mobile application when it's available. When are you thinking that you guys can do this? Because it sounds like a huge undertaking to me. It sounds like if it was something easy, probably it would have been done already. So it's when utility, I guess.
And you
Yeah, I mean, I can speak a little bit to that. So we're not promising timelines now because everybody on the team is a firm believer of under promise and over deliver, and that's in everything we do. I think a lot of these barriers we've already started to accomplish. I'd say between 30 to 40% of the people that participated in our pre-sale are brand new to crypto. I've got people in their 60s and 70s getting in that have never done this before. We have a huge help desk that we've put together that has countless articles of how to do X, Y, and Z. It's all step-by-step directions. Tons and tons of support requests, one-on-ones, emails. So there's been a lot of footwork we've already done to kind of see how that process looks and try and streamline it for people that are brand new. So where it goes from there is how do we take a lot of those steps and kind of build it into one easy flow for somebody that's never done this before. So at that point, it's just about building the thing. We already have a lot of the information about what it takes. Now it's just putting it to action.
No little leak, like a year.
I would say less than a year, way
Okay.
more than a week.
Okay.
got
Well, that's actually a very helpful timeline. Thank you. It is. No, it
If it
is.
takes us more than a year, I mean, it's definitely going to be a hard problem to solve. I could see that if it's something where it's going to take longer than a year, then we would put out something sooner than that. And maybe it won't be 100%, right? Maybe it'd be like 70 or 80%, but it gets them most of the way there. But I think along the way, we can continue to simplify that process for people and iterate on it over time, right? We don't have to have a 100% perfect utility the first time we launch it, right? We can get something out there as an MVP and build onto it over time. So I think less than a year is a reasonable goal for that. And we'll absolutely give updates as the time progresses.
I'm highly optimistic about the timeline. I won't even say what I have in my mind because they will all kill me. But
I'm sure.
I feel like it's something that we can accomplish. And if it even took close to a year, I'd be shocked. I mean,
Okay.
personally, I would. But then again, some of these problems are harder to solve than it seems like. But I have a pretty good understanding of the process, and I didn't do the work, but I've worked with the people on the AI side on previous projects and seen it related to my business outside of this project. And I've seen what they're capable of doing through working with them in the past. And I know how capable Matt is, and I know how capable Bullish is, and then we put those guys all together, and then give John the graphical side to make it look good. It's going to be fantastic. Plus, as a part of the process, I believe we will end up having some horizontal integration into other parts of other parts that will be related. Like wallet, possibly other things that people would be using anyway. So maybe they end up using a Coyote wallet instead of Trust Wallet. No offense, Trust Wallet. That kind of thing.
That's good. So you have the core team that's going to be doing the coding. You're not going to outsource any of the coding. All of that is going to be done in-house.
Correct.
Yeah,
None
and
of
I would
it's going to
add
be outsourced.
no, and I would add to that if we need to bring in developers, that's a big reason that we have the operations tax and the marketing tax and that side. Like we've kind of adjusted tokenomics a little bit to account for that because we know it's going to be a big undertaking. And that's the goal, is to be able to bring people in as needed to build this out. I mean, my day job is a software engineer. So I've built applications like this for the past 17 years. And then on the crypto side, we've got Bullish, and then Chris has a lot of experience with the other part that he's not going to go into too much. So I think we've got a really solid team behind us for this.
Great.
How many? So is it 3 of you? How many people right now?
So myself as a lead dev, we have Joey and X are developers.
Just the coder people.
Yeah, just the coder people, and then Bullish is our lead blockchain. So we've got 4 developers right now.
Are they full time, or do they? Or you just said you work a day job, right?
Yeah, I work a day job, so I essentially do 40 hours for my day job. I do 40 hours for Coyote every week.
Yeah.
So it's
Is there anybody that's solely focused on doing the coding of Coyote? Like, or is there someone there that's all that they do? Is that?
I
Bullish.
think as this takes off, it's going to turn into a full-time job.
I agree
Oh,
with
for
that.
sure. I believe that for sure.
Been
But
working.
as of right now, it's Bullish. He's the only guy there.
He's the full-time on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And then I'm the full-time on everything else.
Matt's definitely full time. Whether he's doing any other work aside from this, to me, it's sort of he's definitely full time because he's always working, and I see him all the time. He's always responding to people. He's always working on something. So without question, I would not be able to say he's anything other than full time.
Yeah, I'm working from 8 a.m. to midnight every single day.
Oh,
7
God
days a
bless
week.
you.
So
Oof.
it's I'm looking forward to this launching probably more than our pre-salers are.
When you launch, you're going to be available on both Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum, correct?
Just Smart Chain. So
Just Smart Chain?
at launch will be Smart Chain, and then within 2 weeks we'll have Ethereum up. So we're building a bridge right now. Bullish is working on it. Aside from the Certic audit, that's been his primary focus. So our goal is within a couple of weeks we'll have the bridge done and we'll launch on Ethereum.
Okay. Now, you did bring up the tokenomics. So let's take a little peek at the tokenomics and go over that. With such a huge undertaking, like you were just talking about, how it's, this is going to be, I can't even imagine the amount of work that's actually going to have to go into this. Should you have made the developer wallet a little bit bigger? And then you could have adjusted it on when it was all wrapped up and done.
I'll let Chris talk to the tokenomics and all that.
Yeah, we've got marketing and operations as well. So, if we need it, we can pull some from there. I mean, that dev tax is specifically for development. And I think largely, I think that will be what I think it'll be what we need. I think we're going to have pretty tremendous volume, and based on the story, sort of the unexpected. It was an unexpected blessing in disguise. It was terrible thing. It felt horrible for everybody, but the way that it turned out in the long run is we have a completely rewritten code with an extremely talented, and if you spend any time talking to this guy and working with him on a project, you would know what we know. We ended up with him. We ended up with a totally rewritten and improved contract with anti-bot, anti-sniper. It's more gas efficient. So many improvements that I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of them. You guys may chime in and remind some of the things I'm forgetting. But and then in the Certic audit, like them coming in with such rapid movement to come and help us with the audit, which we weren't going to have that, and the changes that it made structurally to the team and the way that things are going to be dealt with moving forward. Cryptocurrencies, they're not really set up for long-term success. The whole allocation thing is a bad idea. We were just sort of following suit because that's what everybody does, right? That's normal for cryptocurrencies. You give everybody on the team an allocation. We're still doing that, but it's a way smaller deal than it was before, because it's kind of like, hey, if you were going to have somebody do a job, would you pay them all the money like before they did the work, or would you pay them like half now and half later, right? Or if you were running a business and you hired somebody, would you pay them like everything they were going to make for the next 10 years on day one? Definitely not. That's a horrible idea, right? They're going to get the money, and then they're not going to have the incentive to work anymore. So the new setup is more more corporate in nature, and that's where the marketing, the operations comes from. We want to be able to sustain the work and the dev packs, sustain the work long term, as opposed to, hey everybody, here's your payment for what we expect you to do for the life of the project. To me, that I didn't realize it before, but that was another blessing that came out of another part of the blessing in disguise situation where just identified a major flaw in the way that cryptocurrencies are from the get-go. They're almost set up for failure that way.
Okay, so I have something because Maddie B Productions has put in that dev tax is too small, and I worry that you're going to sell tokens to pay for things. So what we're going to do is just again take a peek at the tokenomics here and just sort of one of these days I'll learn how to use StreamYards. Here we go. Okay, so I know it says 0.75 dev, but you're actually going to be utilizing probably that 3%
It'll
for
be
the developers as well, where it says marketing and operations, because you have this whole thing where you believe in organic marketing. So you're not going to be spending that much money on marketing, which will be a whole completely different, separate conversation from here, because I think that could be a little bit of a mistake, but we'll go over that later. So, Maddie, they are going to be using, it's not just that 0.75, so you don't have to worry that they're going to be dumping tokens to sell for things. They are going to be utilizing that 3% as well.
Yeah, and I would say if you have the white paper available as well, it goes into detail about the or the harpoon tax.
Okay,
I think it's
let's go
around
over the
page
harpoon
14.
tax now. Please
Sure.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
we've modified that a little bit as well. So that's an important part of this conversation also.
Okay, let's jump into that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's around page 14 or so. You can keep scrolling down. You'll see another donut chart. But we also trademarked harpoon tax. So now if anybody else uses
You did?
it, we'll get them on that. We sure did.
Shucks, I think I've been
See.
using that too.
No, that's okay. It's okay. It's the very next page. Yep, so there you go. So there you can see that we also added the harpoon tax, where instead of the entire bulk going straight to reflections, is we still have a very healthy 12% reflections. There's the marketing and operations budget bumps up to 13%. So anytime that a whale is naughty, we'll get a good influx of tokens there. And let's see. Yeah, I guess the marketing side, I'll leave that for later. But we do have another portion there that's kind of an anti-bot measure. Is the first 24 hours, we're going to trigger the harpoon tax if somebody sells more than 0.25% of the supply.
Okay, just hold on a second. Guys, pay very big attention to this, because this is going to be really big. They're going to make any bot attacks. This is going to have a huge, significant save for our tokens. That's, we're not going to be expecting those big red candles that you normally see on launch. So please pay attention to this particular thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I would say if somebody tries to come in and sell on day one, they're not smart.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah. So in day one, if they sell more than 0.25% of the supply, then they will get hit with a harpoon tax. And then after 24 hours, it will adjust to be the normal 5% of previous sell volume. So you won't have the big shoot up on day one and then everybody dumps really quick. If they do, I mean, they're only going to get 60-70% of what they sold, but more money for the rest of the Coyote crew and everything that we're doing.
Orders.
Yeah. So we're kind of hoping somebody does do it.
Yeah, I am. Why not?
I want to see how many times it gets triggered, or if people are going to really be paying attention. We are being very upfront with everybody to make sure that everybody that's paying attention understands that what's going to happen, how it works. But I'm still curious in the long run. No, I don't think anybody's ever done this kind of a harpoon tax before. So I'm curious to see how many times does it get triggered? If it, is it a lot or is it a little? It'll be it's like a science experiment to see what happens, honestly.
Yeah, and we're working on a dashboard as well, so you'll be able to see and visualize that information, and you'll have an idea of where that 5% is. So if you're just trying to sell and take healthy profits and be responsible, we'll have that information so people be able to tell, like, okay, can I sell this much and not get triggered? You know, be like, yeah, that's fine, and they can sell it. But that's something we'll have shortly after launch as well.
Okay. So, wow, that's 12%. If somebody gets hit with this harpoon tax, we're going to get 12% reflections, which is crazy. What is going to be the circulating supply?
It's going to be, well, let's see, there's the 1.25 quadrillion, but then all of liquidity is locked in for 3 years. And we have a pretty good size reserve as well, because we're going to be tackling other exchanges. I know Chris can talk to that. So I don't know the exact number of circulating supply off the top of my head. It's going to depend on how many exchanges we're on, and if the bridge is ready and things like that.
What do you anticipate your launch price to be?
We actually have that pinned in our Telegram. Let me get it real quick. It's 10% higher than what our pre-sale price was. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros and a 196 1412. So if you take our pre-sale price and you do 10% higher, that's what it'll be. So anybody on pre-sale gets an immediate 10% bump on launch, and that's just the initial launch. And then the bots will come in, and then they'll get their hand slapped really good, and then the price will shoot up some more before anybody real gets in there.
Bad bots.
Okay. So let's talk about your NFTs. Are they going to have what kind of utility are they going to have?
Yeah, so right now we have a slight utility on them where it gets you access to a special channel on our Discord server. And as we grow and get humongous, they'll have behind the scenes access to future NFTs. They get to have that feedback cycle of if they have really cool ideas they would like us to do. And they'll also get priority support from the team, or at least direct access to the team as this thing gets up to where we have like 10,000 members in our Telegram, and it's hard to keep up. So
Probably
we do
too, right? Special access if we have plans to have events in the future as we it grows and becomes a huge thing.
Absolutely. We're going to have special live events that we'll do, and we're always going to come back and support our OG Coyotes, our pre-salers, and everybody that joins our Discord before we launch has an OG Coyote role. And then as soon as we launch, that role is cut off. So it'll be a good way to kind of see who was there before launch, who came in after. Now we are going to be building out another NFT set that has a lot more utility, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but it may have to do with a coyote den, and it may have a way to earn you something cool the longer you hold on to it. I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay.
Hey, I
because
think
there's
I'm
other.
going to jump in real quick, Tammy. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, because you haven't talked all night. You take
No, I
as
really
long as you
haven't.
want.
Thank you. Hey, no, I just wanted to mention as well that all of the proceeds raised through the NFTs is going right back into the project as well. So that's not something that we're seeing as another source of revenue or anything like that for ourselves. It's all going right back into this project to benefit the community.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's a great point to bring up, Mark. Every dollar we've gotten so far has gone back towards minting other NFTs. And once everything's minted, anything else that we have, we'll use it to either have a burn party or buy Howl so that reflections go and all that stuff. And then we'll send our Howl to a dead wallet or something. But for right now, we're using it to mint our NFTs on like a rolling process.
So when your application is finally done, are you going to have all of the usual utility like staking, possibly yield farming, anything like that? Or is it going to be, are you envisioning more of an exchange, or how is it you're going to define it?
Is that a Matt question or a me question?
Well, are you talking about the NFT or are you talking about the coin as a whole?
the coin and the project as a whole, your finished
Okay.
product.
So Chris, I'll let you talk to that a little bit.
Okay. So the question is well, first,
Staking, exchange, stuff like that.
okay, so staking, I mean, it kind of already, it is like staking, only you don't have to do anything, right? Like normally you have to buy something and then you have to go and commit it, like lock it into something so that like there's a process required to get a reflection, right? Ours is like that already, only you don't have to do anything but hold it. Will we do something additional? I don't know. Right now, I'm not really sure. We haven't gotten too far into that. Might we end up having an exchange at some point? I don't know. I mean, I think that it's not out of the question. There's really nothing out of the question when we talk about the horizontal or vertical integration. If it makes sense at some point, I kind of feel like the thing that we're doing might it's kind of like an exchange already. It's just without all the trouble that you have to go through with a normal exchange. So I don't know. As far as yield
So
farming, I don't know.
it's going to be like an exchange, but not centralized.
Basically, yeah, it's kind of like
That's the key point. That's the key point there. You know,
exchange.
sticking in the decentralized space and really organizing and making that a simplified process for people like your dad, who we mentioned earlier, and our parents, for that matter. I was talking to Chris's dad at our initial launch, or pre-sale event, is what it was, and he was telling me that he's really interested in all this stuff and he enjoys doing it, but he has to get his son to help him buy it all because he can't figure out how to do it. So you know, those are the people that we want to appeal to, those people that are newer to crypto, and that's kind of been one of our missions all along, was to change the way people think about crypto. And there's really been a focus on educating. And I say this all the time, but Matt has done a great job of building out content on our site, and there is tons of information there for people that are new. And it's been really beneficial. It's really cool to hear feedback from others and to get to hear people say, well, I went to your website and I entered a message on Zendesk and I got a response right away. And now there's an article there to help others along the way too. And most all of that content comes from Matt. He's done a great job with that.
It's a lot of work.
Go, Matt.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm laughing at Couch Potato, thinking I live in all this, and this isn't a background.
Yeah, that's the Bat Cave, right? That's
Yeah,
the Bat
that's the back
Cave.
cave. If not, you have a boring bookshelf behind me with a bunch of kids stuff on it. Nobody
No,
gets to see that.
that's not true. It's not a background. It is what it looks like.
That's where he lives, the Bat Cave.
I live in the back cave.
Okay, so the NFTs are going to have utility. They're not just going to be simple little JPEGs, which drive me crazy. I don't understand why anybody would spend money on a picture, on a little JPEG picture, unless there is actual utility to back it up. I think it's a
Doesn't make
heist, a money
Yeah.
grab. It's a heist. I don't believe in them. But
So
if
do
you
we.
are having utility, I think that's great. Like, you could, if somebody has a very rare NFT, they could get increased whatever
Tammy
once
talking.
your thing launches, once your I don't know. Are you going to call it a wallet? Like what should we be calling this?
Hmm.
We'll have to get Chris to trademark another cool name.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. But
We're
sort
taking ideas.
yes, name suggestions. Anybody wants to throw those in the comments, we'll take them. But to talk just 1 second about what you said about talking about an exchange and how this would kind of become like a decentralized exchange. If you think about it, these major exchanges, they are kind of centralized, right? Because they're basically telling people what they can buy and what they can't, right? You can buy the things that we pick, the ones we'll put them out here, and then you can pick from this list. When meanwhile, there's these thousands of other projects that are brand new. Some of them have great potential, but you're not going to have access to those unless you can figure this process out on your own. So for me, it's kind of like those exchanges seem kind of centralized to me. And what we're going to make is something which would basically become like a truly decentralized exchange that anybody could use.
Believes is in the house. Hey, Believes. Believes says, how'd this become Batman instead of Matman? Who's the marketer here? He's so funny, believes.
We've
So
tried to
being that,
use Matman. It just doesn't stick for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why.
have you guys been on Believe's channel?
No, I don't think we have. We should.
Oh, he's very popular.
Invite us.
So
Well, check it out.
he's
Send us
very
some links,
popular.
dude.
People love him. He's hilarious. He's funny, and he's very, very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. Um, so guys, the marketing. Dun dun dun. I
I
know
will
you want to
say,
stick with the organic marketing thing,
no,
that
we're
you're
not.
trying to, be very frugal with your marketing. I think you need to, there's a reason why people pay millions of dollars to get on Super Bowl ads. Granted, YouTube is not television, but cryptocurrency, Twitter, and YouTube are very entwined, very
Yeah.
entwined. You have to get the word out about your project. It has to spread out beyond Telegram. It's nice to have an active community in Telegram. Everybody's very happy in Telegram when the token is about to be launched and everybody's feeling positive. But I feel like once the token launches and your price becomes stagnant, or God forbid you have the first big dip, you're going to see how sour that's going to turn. It's going to turn sour fast. I've seen it a million times. I think for your launch, you should go all out, do some kind of marketing blitz to just, do you know what I'm saying?
Actually have
Yes.
concern in the opposite direction. My concern is that we have too much buy pressure currently for launch because there's been so much time and because of the story and because I think I'm worried that we're going to have a parabolic spike and those are usually preceded by falling. I think for me, I'm more focused on a steady growth. Marketing, yes. My intention was never to not spend money on marketing. That's definitely a huge piece. But I'm actually worried that we might have too much of an increase right out of the gate, and I'm hoping for more of a less of a parabolic rise, something that's more sustainable. So I was thinking, yes, definitely marketing. The other thing is marketing is the value of the dollar goes a lot farther for anybody that's in crypto. I feel like if you spend those dollars when like Bitcoin is pumping, right? Like if if the markets are kind of then it may not go quite so far. But I mean, things have been going pretty well lately. So, but anyway, the answer to that from my perspective, and these guys may have something else to add. We definitely have plans to spend money on marketing. Hence the marketing and operations, which we didn't have before. Another blessing in disguise from the whole initial launch problem. But like I said, I'm more concerned that things will go too well on the first day, and then I'm worried about what would happen after that. So
Well, that should be the least of your worries, right? We should all have those problems.
as long as
Right.
Seriously, right?
as long as it's sustainable, of course I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but definitely we're going to be doing the marketing. We've got plans for marketing. We've got plans for exchanges, which is marketing in a sort of a way itself. And I've made friends, or I'm not sure how many people on the team have talked to some of these guys, but made some friends on some other projects that have done very well and been over $1 billion market cap, and they are kind and give information freely. Hey, this is what worked for us, and I'm not above taking their advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really
And
bad about looking at private comments.
no, that's okay.
The
I
girl
just,
who's usually my moderator is not here tonight. It's like the first live stream she's ever missed, Sherry. So normally she'll watch the chat and I can focus on the private comments and okay. So do you want to talk about your marketing strategy?
yeah. So this is what John and Zeke have been working on for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Really, they've been working on a little bit for the past 3 months, but they got it all compacted down into one big strategy that kind of goes through everything. And yeah, previously up to pre-sale and up to launch, we've been doing completely organic marketing just because we didn't have a budget we didn't have any way to spend all that money on a lot of stuff. But as Chris alluded to or mentioned, is we have that marketing operations budget as part of the taxes now, and so we definitely anticipate on spending and getting the word out there. And the more that budget grows over time from the traffic and the sales that we get, the more outrageous, crazy things we'll be able to do. Hey, maybe we buy an ad in the Super Bowl. I don't know. But so to go over this a little bit more detail, is there's 4 sides of it. The lifestyle kind of fits into making Coyote a lifestyle, not just a coin, right? I've got my Coyote shirt on. I've got my Coyote mug. John has been doing a great job with that. He actually runs a shop that does all this stuff in-house. So we haven't had to spend anything on it. It's just work that he's able to get out. We've got our merch shop up.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
He does beautiful design work. He made me this gorgeous logo. And I have to say, all of your stuff, like your website, your thumbnails, everything is top notch.
Yeah,
Top
he's
notch all the
fantastic.
way. I would love to see that. Just see, more circulated on Twitter, because everything, I mean, he's done a beautiful job. Just gorgeous. He actually made the thumbnail for tonight's broadcast. So all of it is just gorgeous.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering
he's
if I should go
fantastic.
over to the website and try to find some of your merch too. But
Yeah,
continue
sure.
on.
No, there's a link at the top of our site called Shop. So we've got an e-com site up. We've already had orders, and by the way, sales on there also goes to the coin. We're not taking money out of this, and this is all stuff that he can print in-house. And both him and Jessica have been working on this stuff ongoing for weeks, and filling orders, and any sales that we make go back to the coin. Yeah, so right there's the tumbler, the one on the left, that's the one I've got right now. It is awesome.
They're like
It's
laser.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's laser engraved. It actually takes out the whole thing, and so you have the silver through the cup.
Ooh, okay. So it's not just willy-nilly screen printed on there. It's going to wash off after a while. It's embedded in there.
It's legit. So they have a huge plan to kind of push this out. And crypto is a lifestyle, right? Like anybody that's involved in crypto, we tell our friends about it. We tell our family about it. We have conversations at the golf course or at work or anywhere. So it's about making, crypto that lifestyle, and Coyote being the brand behind it. The other side of that is, I'm going to pull it up on my end so you can kind of keep scanning there. So John knows this like the back of his hand, but he's out with his family right now.
Chris, is this your good-looking brother?
Yeah, I got a lot of brothers. No, I'm just joking. I do have.
I have a lot of brothers too, and they all tease about who's the best-looking one. That's why I said that.
Oh, Lord.
He's the handsome one, right?
Yeah, that's Chris's other brother. So the other part of the lifestyle is working with influencers, and then that ties into the outreach side, where we're going to be targeting different sponsorships and endorsements. Whether it be we send out care packages to certain people or streamers or e-gamers or whatever it is, and start getting it out there. We have relationships with NASCAR drivers. We've got relationships with a lot of really big named sports fans. Or not sports fans, sports like players that we have.
Athletes?
Athletes. We have.
Oh, you are such a nerd. Come on. Sports players?
I'm a sports ball person. That is not anybody that I know personally. That's more of John's contacts.
That
I
was
won't go into more
great.
details there, but I'm the guy
That's
that
what
says,
I want to
yes,
hear
football.
from my coder, that he doesn't know anything about sports, that he's all about the computer. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful. Thank you.
I don't have time for sports. That was not made up. I'm sorry. I know the sports fans out there are like, oh my gosh, this guy. So John has a lot of contacts, both in NASCAR, in Major League Baseball, in basketball. I mean, we're in the town where Turner Broadcasting. I actually had a job there for a while. I'm not going to share too much about that. That turns into the partnerships, product exposure. We're talking about doing our own brew with a local brewery, and having NFT artwork on the can, and it having special stuff tied into it, where like if you scan a barcode or something, like every one out of every 1,000 or something gets a free NFT. And then that turns into the media side, and like we've got contacts with global news and radio contacts, and that ties back into our digital print and advertisement. So take some time and read this over. It's page 33 of our white paper. It goes way more into detail, and we have an entire marketing strategy that's going to be coming out very soon with more info.
So guys, that's you. You read the marketing. But this is the thing, guys, right? You're going to be able to, let's say, because you said during Sandstorm's AMA that people are going to be able to obtain their own little QR code and get rewards if they bring people into the project.
Yeah, that's correct. A huge part of this is using our community, because people want to go out and talk about the coins that they're invested in and pump them organically as well. But we want to give them a way to do that. So we're building out an entire affiliate side of our dashboard where people get their own custom URLs and QR codes, and it'll tie back to them. And the more people that they bring into the table, the more rewards they get. We'll have different tiers of, maybe this one they get a tumbler, maybe the next one they get a care package, maybe if they get to a certain level they get an NFT, and then maybe it goes on to, they earn HAL, they get airdropped HAL or something. So
or like Amway, right? Instead of a Cadillac.
Yeah. No multi-level marketing stuff here, sir.
Yeah, I'm joking.
So I do like this. This is what your NFTs are going to look like, right? So this is so cool. This is a coyote with obviously a whale dangling out of its mouth. How hot is that? And that's printed on canvas.
No whales.
Whales.
The background, like where it's green and then purple and then blue, it says no whales on that. So yeah, that's a canvas print. And again, John does all that in-house. And so any of our NFT owners, that's one of the utilities, is they get access to that NFT portion of our swag shop. So nobody can come in and just buy a canvas of that. They have to actually own the NFT, and they can get a canvas print of the one they own.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Now, let's say if I had that hanging in my office, would I be able to put my QR code on the canvas? This way, if somebody asked about it, I'd be like, "Hey, scan that," and you and I we'll both get some money from that. Go on and scan it.
That's a great idea. I'll be sure to pass it along to John, and I'll let him know you came up with that idea. It could be like the kind of bottom right-hand corner, almost like the artist signature, but it'd be a little QR code.
Or I guess probably, I mean, I would hate to put a sticker on that, but you're gonna
maybe do a little placard you can like hang next to it.
Yeah, that's a better idea, because you wouldn't want to mess that up. It's beautiful, really.
Yeah, he did great work. And this is our OG Coyote NFT line. There's going to be 1,001 of those minted. Right now, I think we have about 350 to 400 on OpenSea. We have another one for
they're on OpenSea right now?
Yeah. Let's see. I can get you the link. Actually, I think if you're on the website already, it links there, but I just sent you a DM as well.
A DM where?
In the private thing on Streamlabs.
Oh crap.
Yeah, we haven't really pushed this much, Tammy. That's something that's been kind of tabled. It's out there, it's sidelined, and there'll be a bigger launch of that, I'm sure, in the future, but it's not something that we've really pushed a lot.
What are you talking about, Mark? The NFT side?
The NFTs, yeah, just the NFTs.
Because I didn't even know that I thought when you were talking about NFTs, it was going to be a way down the line. I didn't even know that they were here.
Yeah, so we already have 1,000 of them picked out. We've minted, it's showing 140. I think it's because I have to go in and renew some of them. OpenSea's been having issues on and off, but I think we have about 300 of them available once I fix the OpenSea settings.
So what's the rarity factor here? Like how many are extremely rare and how many are so rare? You know what I mean?
So there's two that are rare. There's number 0. It's a completely black and white or grayscale artwork. And that one's going to be the only black and white grayscale NFT that we ever do ever from any of our collections, because we want to have multiples of these.
Is that scooped up already, I'm sure?
No, it's still out there. I think I have it set to some crazy value. If you filter on the left-hand side, I think you can do print, and then you go from 0 to like 8, and it'll filter down to just those first 8 or so.
Wait, filter. Hold on.
I mean, part of the reason, like what Mark was saying about the
Oh,
NFT,
there it is, bottom right.
it's not, I mean, sidelined is a kind of accurate word, but not totally. It's more just sort of like we stopped shedding so much light on it because we were worried that, I was worried, so I guess it was collective, that people would, a lot of crypto projects, NFT is their utility, right? That's what they say. And I am kind of like you, where like NFTs are cool. A lot of people love them. And if you can attach something to them that's useful, then that's good. I love the art, but I was worried that people were going to think that that's what we were, that Coyote was an NFT coin, which that's not the case. Our whole thing, we felt like that if we shine the light on the NFTs too much, it might detract from that we have, that we're going for long-term revenue generating technical utility, right? So this is one thing, but our project has so many different facets. This is one of them. So we're proud of it. We just didn't want it to take center stage because then they were getting confused and thinking that, okay, this is what they are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Yeah. You're charging 20 Ethereum for that mat.
Yep.
Wow.
I told you, crazy. We didn't want somebody just coming in and buying it. We wanted it to be something really outlandish on that one.
You'll probably
so,
get it. You're probably going to get
maybe.
the 20 Ethereum. Once people understand what you are. Oh, let me get rid of this comment. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'm so terrible with this. I'm
you're
hiding
fine.
you. There we go.
So the other one, this was the ultra rare because across every collection we ever do, it'll be the only grayscale one that we do. The other one that was rare is number 1. And that's because that is the actual hand-drawn first one that John did. And everything else is based off of number 1.
Oh, crap. I did it. Hold on a second.
No, you're okay. So hit the left arrow sidebar, and then you can go to print. I think it's towards the bottom, and then you can scale it from 0 to whatever. But that one, it has a tan coyote with a regular colored whale, and then the background is like pink, yellow, and purple.
What's the number of it?
Number 1.
Yeah, 0 is the grayscale, and 1 is the hand drawn.
I think it's going to start giving me like 19 and 18. Scroll down a little bit; it might show it on there. The search on OpenSea is always weird for me.
Well, 1.
Yeah, number 1.
This is number. Oh wait, no, that's 1 heart. Duh. I don't know. Am I not hitting the right thing in the search bar? What should I hit here?
So left-hand side, it says price. Scroll down a little bit more.
Okay.
Keep going. The very bottom one is print. Hit the one that says print.
I don't. Hold on a second. Minimize.
It's okay. You can. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So then scroll down a tiny bit more, and then you can set the numbers from 0 to max to be 1. Little slider, or you can type it in. Yeah. There you go. That's number 1 right there. So that's the first one that he hand drew. That everything else is made off of that one.
Okay.
And I think I had that one at like 10 Ethereum.
Yeah, that's 10 ETH. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I like the black and white one better. That one was super cool. I mean, they're all really smoking hot cool. So
he does some really awesome work. And then there's another one that we do, which is more of the it's a little bit more kid art, but it's called Adventures of Yoti. And let's see if I can get that one for you. But it's like
my favorite.
It's kind of our degen series, if you will.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's basically John doing like a little kid drawing, but even his little kid drawings like completely blow all of our stuff.
I couldn't even make something close to that good.
I put that link in the chat as well. But we actually already have people that own most of those, and a lot of it is based off of actual members in the community. And we have a few others we're gonna put out there. One of them was drawn on screen during an AMA for a lucky winner, and they were the ones that chose the topic, and John drew it up for him. It was awesome.
Was that the Jedi one?
Yeah, the Yote Wars.
He made this. He made the space whale. He made space whales. They were like stormtroopers, but little whale bodies with stormtrooper faces. It was. It,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, check out the link I sent you in the Streamlabs.
It
Okay,
was
hold on a second. I have to go to private chat. Hold on a second.
also Mark had mentioned that one of the things we wanted to make sure of is while we were here tonight, if it was possible that we make sure that the Telegram link is available. So if anybody wants to pop in, because like I feel like that's where we end up delivering a lot of news. Like when we give the final launch date, we'll put it out multiple ways. But if somebody's in our Telegram, then if they're keeping up with that, then they won't miss it. If that's a thing we can do.
Yeah, there you go. So that's our Adventures of Yoti.
Show them the
Okay.
little
Yoke Wars, here it is.
look at that thing. Big little
These
space.
are all inspired, Tammy. These are all inspired by little inside jokes within the community and things like that. So it's all a big joke. But there are a lot of people hanging out in our Telegram that own these already or inspired each of these drawings, and of course they're all at the hand of John.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's very cute. Very cute. So yeah, very cute. I didn't even know any of that stuff was up and available. So I appreciate it that now I know.
Sure.
It's very awesome. And
Yeah, we'll get you
I
more
look
info
forward
as we
to the
get it.
launch really because we've all been waiting for it. And hopefully if what you say is true, I mean, we're going to do really well because your utility sounds absolutely amazing. I was excited for it the first go around, but now I got into the pre-sale thanks to you guys. Thanks to
You're
you
welcome.
guys, I
Thank
was
you.
able to jump into a slot where somebody foolishly abandoned. But what are you going to do, right? Can't make everybody see the potential in things and, But is
Yep.
there anything else that you wanted to mention? Guys?
I don't
Chris, I'll
think,
give it to you.
just looking forward to launch. I would say, it seems like everybody is in favor of a Saturday launch, and depending on how quick we get the changes reviewed for, get them back to Certic, which we finished today. We'll see. But I also don't want to jam it up and we don't want to hurry it and, get everything done and then launch the next day, because it'd be nice to have a little bit of time to put out information, to basically show the launch so that we can make sure
Yeah, I
everybody.
really want to do the launch. Like I want to cover it. So if you could,
Yeah.
I don't know, can you let me know? Like I
Yeah.
won't leak it. I promise you I won't leak it or I won't do anything unethical, but I really would like to cover the launch.
I
Okay.
think that would be cool. We can figure out something like that.
We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, we can make that happen. But not just shill the launch. I mean, that's a great point though, Chris. But it's not just to shill the launch, but just to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch as well. We're going to come through everything with a fine tooth comb and
I mean, yes,
make sure.
right? We're in a hurry.
We all still have PTSD from the first go round.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. I still wake up like
nightmare.
Wake, reach for my phone to try to, oh my God. I did the math on it, and since that night, I think the calculation I came up with is I spend 112 hours a week in some way, shape, or form working on this project. I'm either talking to somebody about it, I'm on a call about it, I'm in one of my telegrams, my DM, whatever. You know what I mean? Like talking to auditors, working with the team in some way. Literally, I think it's around 112 hours because it doesn't stop on the weekends either. And none of us have slept well since that. I still have sort of like nightmares about it. PTSD is not a joke. So,
Well, that's what you want to hear, right? That you guys took it to heart. You took it seriously. It wasn't like, oh, well, stuff went bad. What are you going to do? Because some people do have that nonchalant attitude. Oh, it happened. What are you going to do? Something.
yeah, when you have this
Something.
people that believe in what you're doing and they put their trust in you, not only their trust, but their money. And for some people, it's not never money. It's not throwaway money. It means something to them. That adds a lot of pressure. It got really quick. I think I can speak for everybody. Mark, you were going to say something, weren't you?
No, I'm just agreeing. Yeah, that's it's not something that we've taken lightly at all, Tammy. It's really resonated with us, and we realize more than before what kind of responsibility we have now, it really hammered it home. It's not like we didn't accept that and understand that before, but when that event happened, it really just hammered that point home. And we all know and realize that people have placed their trust in us. Really, it comes down to them feeling comfortable doing things, pursuing something that we've invested energy and time into, and we don't take that responsibility lightly at all.
That's
That's
good
right.
to hear, because some people do. Some people do. So that's good to hear. And you always hear that from the developers. We're working nonstop. So I can't imagine, Matt, you said you have a regular job that you're doing on top of this.
Yeah.
How many hours a week do you think you're working?
Whatever 8 a.m. to midnight is.
Matt's nonstop.
Yeah. So it's it's a lot, because I've got my regular day job on top of it, and I end up, thankfully, my manager is super understanding, and I have flex hours. So there might be times where I'm working on something, and then I kind of bounce back and forth. So I'd say 8 a.m. to midnight at least. Sometimes it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. That I'm working on my computer constantly. That's why I wear these computer glasses. I actually can see fine. These are specifically for working on a computer.
Oh, do those actually work? Does that really work?
Yeah, I have computer vision syndrome. It's a real thing. I'd never heard of it before, but it's from extended use of computers. So I wear these anytime I'm working on a computer.
It blocks some blue rays or something, right? Something
Yeah.
blue.
Blue light filter.
Really works.
And it enlarges the text slightly so that my eyes are more relaxed while I'm using a screen. Because before, if I took my glasses off after using a screen, my eyes would spasm and I had a hard time focusing. So these help me
Everything's
stay.
fuzzy.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be able, like if I took this off on a normal thing, I wouldn't be able to focus on anything. So these help me relax my eyes while I'm working on a computer. Then I take them off when I'm doing regular activities.
Okay. Maybe I should get those, because, when you're on Twitter for like a couple hours a day, and that's small. If you're on your phone, it's super small. And once I get off of that, everything looks fuzzy.
I need wherever you bought those. Hopefully they're on Amazon. They can be here in a day.
Oh, Target, their prescription. Go to your eye doctor and ask them about it.
Really?
Oh, their prescription? I can't just
Yep.
buy the ones off the rack?
The blue light filters ones you can't, but like for the more intense stuff that you need, they're actually prescription.
Okay. Well, these are my prescriptions. I've had these for 3 years. I'm keeping
Just
these.
gonna put a blue light filter on them for you.
They can do that on an existing prescription?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, David Wayne Hunter. You just got here, huh? You're a little late to the party. This party about
What's
to
up,
wrap
David?
up.
How's it going?
David's a friend of Coyote.
Yeah.
Sorry, couch potato. That's
Getting real
how this
medical in
is.
here.
It's all about what I want.
That's what happens when you get older. Yeah.
And we go on tangents, and then we circle back around. But hey, today you learned something from all of us.
That's right. That's absolutely true. So, okay, guys, I'm super excited about the launch. I can't wait for it. I hope it's going to be soon. And then I hope your whole utility comes around very soon. And there's Sherry. Sherry, I just said, where's Sherry? She's always here. Hey, Tammy. Hello, everyone. Sorry, intense day.
This is your
Well, I
mod.
hope it gets better, Sherry. That's okay. Listen, you don't have to be at every single one of my live streams. I do appreciate it though, but that's okay. I get it. Well, guys, any last little wrap ups, anything that you want to entice somebody in with? I mean, I think it's very exciting. I'm super excited about it. I was telling Brad the Sandstorm about you guys and how we needed to talk to you. And, I was asking him to give you the AMA because I'm very excited about Coyote Coin. I do like the fact that you changed it from Mute to Howl.
I think it's better.
It worked out.
I think it did too. And I think you're right that the botched launch could be a blessing in disguise. It really could be. God works in mysterious ways. I believe that. So,
Absolutely.
as soon as we find out about the launch, I'll keep you posted. I want to try to cover the launch when it happens. I don't know when it's going to happen. Who knows when it's going to happen? Maybe they don't even know what's going to happen. Maybe they don't
I don't
even
know
know.
what's going to happen. That's why I said it's all Chris.
I don't even know what's gonna happen, but I'm really close.
It depends on Certic.
Yeah, that's the thing. We were, working with them, but they're moving. I mean, like I said, I think it might be the fastest audit in their history. I don't know. They
I haven't heard of them doing one in 4 days.
never, I've never
No.
heard like that. Let alone lining it up like within a day of, like. But that's what it was. It was related to the story. So, um,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm glad that you guys decided to go with Certic because they really are the gold standard. And they said they are going to be releasing the contract beforehand. This way, all of you uh, tech geeks out there that like to look at the contracts to make sure that they're impenetrable, this will be your moment, like Arion and all those guys.
I asked Certic what if they missed something because of course I'm super paranoid after what happened before. Like I'm, it's a whole new thing, a whole new level of paranoia. But I said, what happens? What happens if you guys miss something? This was in a Telegram message early, and that was in a series of questions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where I asked questions and they answered them, and that was one of them. What happens if you miss something? And the answer was, we don't. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Okay.
I like it. I like the
Are they insured in some manner? Like, let's say something did happen. Let's just say that something did and something bad happened. Like, are they insured? Is there a way to, is there a company that does that?
I don't know. I imagine that they would have something like that if they're stamping things with their approval, and people treat it like it's the golden seal. Um, I know they're based out of their headquarters is in New York, so I was comfortable with the fact that they were in the United States too. But as far as like specific insurance, I don't know. There is insurance that you can get, but like your own, like if you're launching, because somebody pointed those out to us, and I looked at them, and it's like, I just don't know. It's like a online crypto, and it's some of them want ridiculous amounts, and then even if something happens, my guess is they aren't going to pay. So to me, it was
So it's
like,
like typical insurance company, right? Like, let me find all the loopholes where I can get out of paying you for the thing that you paid us for the past 3 years.
that's like the business. That's been the business I've been in myself, and I mean, I don't know. Insurance is that's kind of how it is. They want to take people's money, but they don't want to pay it out. I mean, except for certain circumstances. But anyway. But
Crazy
on
Nine
that.
says Certic is the insurance itself.
I agree with that personally. That I don't know if everybody understands fully, what a big deal they are to have on board, because to launch with a Certic audit is not a typical situation. I don't think.
Ben
Bullish.
Harris says Bullish going to backdoor you guys if you don't raise that dev tax.
I'll tell Bullish is the one that came up with that number, so he had his chance.
That's a pretty funny comment, though.
That is a pretty funny comment. I'll say just real quick, my last thing is just thank you so much, Tammy, for everything you've done for us and for reaching out to Sandstorm. He did a great AMA with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the community, for everybody that's shown up, for everybody having our backs and believing in us and helping us get to the next phase of this thing. We're looking forward to going to outer space to Pluto and beyond.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really solid project. But here's the thing with projects like this. When you have something that is going to be as revolutionary as Coyote Coin is going to be, we have to give them the time to build that utility. You can't, a week from launch, one Lambo, it's the long game. And a lot of people don't understand that. They start to get nervous. I have a longer vision. I'm a little older, so I don't mind waiting a year to see what that utility is going to be, wait to see the huge gains. I'm a patient investor. That's fine with me. So just keep your heads in the game, okay? Get you guys that are investors, keep your head in the game. Just always think about what that end utility is going to be and hold your devs accountable if they're missing benchmarks or you think they're not doing something well enough, hold them accountable. Blast them on Telegram, Twitter, whatever you have to do to hold them accountable. That's what you do. And sometimes they need a little slapping around. It's very true. It's very true. So,
No comment.
yep. Okay.
On that timeline thing, Tammy, people make fun of me sometimes on the Telegram because when they ask when anything, like when launch, I'll say I'm measuring it in days, not weeks, right? Or like that's how I always tell them without actually saying. I measure the utility completion in months, not years. So
There you go. If you said days there, I was going to reach through the screen and slap you.
I'm measuring it in months, not years. So
that's very exciting, and I'm very excited for this project to really get going. I am, but like I said, I'm patient, so I don't mind everything waiting a little longer just to make sure everything is perfect. And I just, it's going to be amazing because if it's as good, if it's half as good as John's artwork, is that for JD? Is it John or JD?
John.
JR, but his name's John. Yep.
It's going to be beautiful as well as easy to use. And that's what we need in cryptocurrency for the mainstream to really adopt cryptocurrency is that ease of use. And that's what they're going to bring. Cross chain. Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me. I really appreciate you for dropping on by. These have been the devs from Coyote Coin. And thank you everyone for tuning in and learning about the Coyote Coin. And it's, well, everyone say goodbye to all your viewers and all your fans that showed up tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Tammy. Thanks to our community as well.
All right, guys, take care. That's going to do it for us tonight.
Good night.